It is to do with another land question, the situation of Palestine.
Yes.
And you have said that the legacy of apartheid is very similar to the existence of Zionism. Could you tell us why this analogy is so strong in your mind?
Yeah, perhaps you've got my quote wrong, because I don't see similarities, because Zionism is 1,000 times worse than apartheid. So we are not so much interested in the similarities, but in the dissimilarities. In all the years that we were under the colonial rulers from 1652 until the apartheid regime took power in 1948, we have never ever had an African township bombed with F-16 fighters. We have never had massacres on the scale that have taken place in occupied Palestine. And when I say occupied Palestine, I mean the entirety of Israel that was established in 1947, and also the subsequent conquest, 1967, and the expansion, taking away of East Jerusalem, the West Bank, etc. It is definitely worse, because none of the Afrikaners in South Africa ever believed that God gave them that land. Whereas the Zionists are saying that the only title deeds they have to the land of Palestine is the Bible. So that makes it worse.
And my understanding of history as well is before they decided upon Palestine, they were considering a certain part of Africa as the homeland for the Jews.
Uganda, to be precise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's good to share platforms with the rabbis of the Neturei Karta, because they don't believe that Israel has a right to exist, and that no Jew has the right to take land belonging to another people. So it is this lie that there will be land, people without land, right, taking land without people. But that was not true. When the last British census was held in then the Palestinian Mandate, they actually discovered that only 10% of the population were classified Jews. And this indicates that here was a land grab of massive proportions, accompanied by what can only be described as genocide. We don't buy into this idea that only Rwanda, Burundi had a genocide. They even refuse to recognize the one in Bosnia-Herzegovina. But they glorify the Holocaust as if it's the Holocaust, with a definite article in front. In other words, there's only one Holocaust that took place. But if Holocaust means to eradicate the whole or part of a population, especially the civilian population, through deliberate, systematic extermination, then I would say the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki also counts as a Holocaust. Because here were hundreds of thousands of Japanese who were killed on the 6th and the 9th of August 1945, and they were not only exterminated, they were incinerated, they were obliterated and cremated at the same time within a couple of seconds. Now that is a genuine Holocaust. People were consumed by fire.
Okay, do you feel a lot of the points of view you are articulating, some might call as extremely radical or leftist, whatever term they want to use.
Yes.
Do you feel that in the course of time, everything you are articulating will actually be common knowledge, as some of the things you've said about South Africa since so-called liberation is now common knowledge and understood by a lot of people? Do you feel in the course of time similar things will be thought about the existing state of Israel?
Yes, most definitely. The fact that there is a big clash within Israel between the Orthodox Jews and the Zionists. Theodor Herzl said that Zionism must remain secular. He wrote a letter to Cecil John Rhodes in 1902, and he said, I need to speak to you because your project, which meant the colonization of southern and northern Rhodesia at the time, that was 1896, are both colonial projects. Now there you have it out of the horse's mouth, the father of Zionism. So the rabbis, Orthodox rabbis in the Neturei Karta, they endorsed that point of view, that Israel should never exist. And you can't punish through collective guilt Palestinians who had nothing to do with the Nazi Holocaust. And it was not only the Jews who were killed in Germany, What Hitler did, he first wiped out the opposition, the communists and anybody else who opposed him, the intellectuals, the artists, and after he had finished them off, then he went for the Jews. And this is a feature of all genocidal activities, that you want a free rein to operate as you please. And somebody benefits from a Holocaust and from a genocide, and it's normally the ruling classes.
Right.
Because this is almost a primitive means of capital accumulation. I take what you have and make it mine.
Okay.
Whether it's land or whether it's minerals, whatever it is.